Hi, everyone. It's Professor Hall. Welcome to week 7, module 6 of our Harlem Renaissance literature course. So this week you are working on an essay. I have some resources for you if you didn't take English 124, which is writing about literature. If you didn't take that with me, or you haven't taken a long time, or you just want a little bit of refresher, there are 2 videos for you. One is Writing a Literary Argument Part 1, which talks about how to form a thesis, how to write your introduction, and how to get a focus for your essay. Part 2 is about evidence and support, and I talk about how to use both the piece of literature you're looking at and the criticism to support your points. So if you want to watch those are both in the module for you under the learning materials. Also in the learning materials are 5 pieces of criticism. You only need 1 for your paper, but you can certainly use more than 1 if you want. I recommend you don't use more than 3 given the scope of your paper and the length of it. In terms of your essay itself, so you're writing about 5 pages, and that will include a works cited page in proper MLA format. You need MLA formatting throughout the entire paper. You should have short quotations to support your points. Those should come from, as I said, both the book and the criticism. They do not go in italics. They do not get bolded. They do not get underlined. Use a standard 12-point font throughout your entire paper. I prefer a font like Apt Post or Calibri, something like that. Times New Roman is okay. It's a little bit more difficult for me to read. I do have some vision issues, so just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, just standard 12-point font. We're looking at word count, not page count, so don't try to up it to 13 or 14. It's not going to work for you. 5 pages is typically about 1,500 to 1,800 words. It's going to be somewhere in there. And you need an introduction that has a strong thesis that presents an interpretation of the book. You're going to have, in your essay, as I said, quotes from the novel and from the criticism, and then your conclusion should reinforce what you have in your thesis, reinforce your interpretation, and then you can have a little bit of time to discuss the book's relevance today. So I've given you 5 prompts. You're going to pick one of those 5. Number 1 is place the novel within a historical context of the Harlem Renaissance. So how does the work reflect the cultural movements, the intellectual movements? How does it kind of fit into this broader socio-political climate of the time? Number 2, exploring the complexities of the relationship between Emmylou and Elva. So specifically, characterization, conflict, their motivation, power dynamics, and then also like the larger themes that connect to this relationship, including things like identity, colorism, racism, gender roles, societal expectations, that kind of thing. Your third choice is to look at the title of the book, The Black or the Berry. Analyze how the phrase really... What does that phrase mean? Why did he choose that for the title of this book? What are the historical and cultural implications? And how does it serve as kind of a lens to view the characters' struggles and their triumphs? Your fourth choice is to look at the novel as a coming-of-age story. So how do racism and colorism contribute to Emmylou's struggles with self-perception and acceptance and self-esteem and efficacy and those kind of things? How does she begin her journey, and how does she go from being a very insecure little girl to a still insecure young adult to a more mature woman by the end of the book? And then lastly, your final option is to investigate the intersection between race and social class. So how do the characters' economic statuses affect their experiences of racism and colorism? How does social class kind of complicate the relationships or the opportunities that they have and that kind of thing? I want you only to choose 1 out of the 5. You can put that in your assignment to let me know which one you chose, or you can just come up with a thesis statement that shows me what you've chosen for your project. So that's really it. If you have any questions along the way, just let me know, and you can always reach out. Otherwise, I look forward to reading your thoughts. Thanks, everyone.